The Resident Evil video game series has been around for almost 30 years, spanning multiple console generations, multiple genres and gameplay styles. Capcom's juggernaut survival horror series was bound to have some missteps. Let's take a look at 5 of the worst Resident Evil games. If you haven't seen our picks of the 5 best Resident Evil games, take a look at the link video. It'll be in a corner somewhere. Just to let you know, Capcom's more recent attempts at online team games will not be included, as let's be honest...
Stop! He's already dead!
Number 5. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Following on from the success of the ludicrously good Resident Evil 2 remake, fans were excited to see that Resident Evil 3 was also receiving the same treatment. The original PlayStation 1 game has a special place in my heart, being one of the first in the series I played back in the early 2000s. I was pumped to see this remake. My hopes, however, were dashed like so much projectile diarrhea against a wall when I played it. The imposing, relentless tyrant of the original Nemesis reduced to simple scripted encounters. He was big, yes, but he wasn't my Nemesis. This was a cheap knockoff.
Hey! Fuckface!
Areas from the original game, such as the clock tower, completely missing. And to top it all off, a campaign that can be finished in 6 hours or so on a first sitting, with little replay value outside of a few weapons and some concept art. Here's hoping they've learnt some lessons for Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Next time, take the fucking hit!
Number 4. Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica. Capcom tried a few light gun experiments. Truth be told, Survivor 1 should probably be on this list as well, but I'm a sucker for that PS1 charm. Survivor 2 failed in a number of ways. Inconsistencies with the Code Veronica plot, drab levels with repetitive design, a lack of variation in objectives to complete, and very little replay value. The main reason though... Number 3. Resident Evil Gaiden. What is this? I took a trip through a passenger ship with Leon and Barry, and I left confused. The story itself is typical Resident Evil fare, but the Game Boy just couldn't cut it. This was an ambitious project, and kudos for trying, but if you take away puzzles, atmosphere, and moody soundtracks, and replace it with a weird time-based combat minigame and chiptunes that make my ears bleed, then I'm out. Gaiden was a fun little jaunt into handheld territory, but this just didn't come together. Mercifully, Capcom would redeem themselves with a few standout 3DS games in later years. Number 2. Operation Raccoon City. Taking on the role of an umbrella soldier, you see the story of the early games play out from a different, completely made-up perspective. Operation Raccoon City suffered from dull level design, an underbaked story, terrible companion AI, and came off as a discount shooter where all the basic boxes were ticked and it was shipped out. Reviews around the time did state that the online experience was considerably more fun, but 23-year-old me didn't have friends. He had a PS3 and a terrible video game. I tried to replay this some years ago and could not get my PC to get past Games for Windows Live. Another tragic memory. Number 1. Resident Evil 6. What do you get when you try to cater to several different types of fans at once, straying away from any kind of cohesive game design in favour of short campaigns with completely different gameplay styles? Four different campaigns, including a weak attempt at survival horror, a discount attempt at Gears of War, and whatever Ada and Sherry were doing. I don't know, I think I repressed it. Weak shooting, a tacked on multiplayer element, nonsensical AI, and enough QTEs to make the Krauser knife fight look like a great time. Resident Evil 6 was a low point in the series, eschewing everything that made the previous games so good and delivering an unfocused mess. It did give us a giraffe doing something questionable though. Do you agree? What would have been your picks? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, bye bye.